Stand by. Now, earlier today, the Prime Minister-designate, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, was approved, or his appointment was approved by Parliament, which was vetting that appointment. But we will stay away from discussing the challenges ahead for Dr. Rugunda for now, and discuss the way forward for the former Prime Minister, the immediate former Prime Minister, another Ndugu, Amama Mbabazi. Andrew, the old man of the clan, is here, and also the CEO of the Independent magazine. Andrew,
but Maurice, you don't declare a conflict of interest. You, Rugunda, and Amama come from the same village. So how do you expect you to be impartial and neutral in this matter?
Well, let me just probably put it this way. The people of Kigezi are torn between the stone and
No, they have jumped from one spring bed to another, from one bed of roses to another.
Well, let's wait and see.
Amama has lost a job, but the people of Kigezi have kept the prime ministership.
Well, that's one way of looking at it.
That shows you that President Museveni is very good at political brinkmanship.
It's very smart indeed. Now, let's discuss what happens next for the Prime Minister. Yes, what next for him?
So let me be a prophet. You know, I'm always a professor. So I profess things. Now I'm going to be a prophet. I will prophesy.
All right,
I think the next move by President Museveni is to kick Mbabazi out as Secretary General.
How do you propose that? Because I've seen MPs start to think around it. The caucus meeting yesterday.
I don't know how they will do it. If the president fired Mbabazi from Prime Minister because he has presidential ambitions, I do not see how the president can keep Mbabazi as Secretary General, because that allows him to use the machinery of the party to build his presidential ambitions. So I am trying to second guess President Museveni. If you're in Museveni's shoes, you do not go out there directly to fight Mbabazi, because Museveni is a person who always wants to keep his to build bridges rather than build walls. But I know there are many people in NRM who hated Mbabazi and who felt that Mbabazi had this star and they must bring that star down. I think that people like that will organize individually and collectively and petition the Central Executive Committee of the NRM to remove Mbabazi. Now, I've been reading today through the NRM Constitution. They do not have provisions for removal of a Secretary General.
Which they now want to introduce.
Which they want to introduce. But what they are going to do is, I looked at their code of conduct, and when the president gave a speech in Chankwanzi regarding these issues of Mbabazi, he said he's creating cliques and things like that. And some of the things Mbabazi had been doing were of a criminal nature. So we are likely to see Kale Kaihura begin a criminal investigation of Amama Mbabazi's activities within NRM, of bribing NRM mobilizers to support him, of paying debts for some MPs. These issues will be raised. Then they will not take them to court, because in court Mbabazi will win, because they don't want to make a legal argument. I'm sure they will try to make a political argument. They will accuse him of creating cliques in the party, which is in the code of conduct, not the constitution of the NRM, but the NRM code of conduct. Once they have established such grounds, they will ask Mbabazi to be taken to the disciplinary committee. Who is the chairperson of the disciplinary committee of the NRM? Is Alhaji Moses Chigongo. Alhaji Moses Chigongo and Mbabazi don't see eye to eye. I'm actually reliably informed that when Mbabazi was dropped, he called a party, a large party. So if Mbabazi has to appear before Chigongo, you can imagine there he will just be slaughtered. So the likely consequence is that Mbabazi will be suspended from the NRM, maybe for 4, 5 years or 3 years. When they suspend him for 3 years, it means from now up to 2017. So inactive. When he's suspended, he cannot be Secretary General.
Yes,
so he will have to leave as Secretary General, and the President will now appoint an acting Secretary General.
Who's probably already there.
Which means that if he's suspended, whether fairly or unfairly, because it will have to be voted. When you looked at the members of the SEC, about 21, 22 of them, President Museveni and
most of them
others,
have already spoken out in the press on their position.
I saw Mbabazi has about 4 votes there.
Yes.
Namara, that of his wife, and there's 1 or 2 people there. So already he's outnumbered in the SEC. So they will suspend him from the party for 3 years. I'm just trying to guess. Once they suspend him, it means he cannot be Secretary General. So there will be an acting, which means he cannot run against Museveni in the NRM primary next year. And even if Museveni does not instigate this, people will do it on his behalf. Do you see? Because they need to stop Mbabazi from appearing in Nambole next year to mount a challenge to President Museveni.
Why is the system, I want to call it a system, not just the president, why is the system right now fighting that one individual called Amama Mbabazi, yet he actually hasn't openly made his position clear on whether he's running for presidency?
But you see, Mbabazi,
what if they're jumping the gun and he will never, probably, contest the presidency.
But you see, I don't think that even Museveni, when he was fighting Mbabazi, he believed 100% that Mbabazi was planning to run for president.
Yes.
But as I told you last week, is all Museveni needs is to suspect and put in place contingency measures in case these allegations turn out to be true. But once he has fired Mbabazi, it means he has injured him. You see, you don't injure buffalo and then go to kiss it.
Yes.
So if you are Museveni and you fire Mbabazi, the next thing you need as prime minister, you need to get him out of Secretary General. You need to incapacitate his ability to cause you trouble in the party. Because if I am Museveni, I would consider Mbabazi to be angry. If Mbabazi is angry, he will do something. But how do you keep a man who is angry with you as Secretary General of the party and therefore in charge of the party machinery for mobilization, for organization, for financing? You don't want him there. You don't want him to know the secrets. Do you see? So I think that where we have reached, it will be very difficult to bridge the rift between Museveni and Mbabazi because there are so many stakeholders inside NRM with a vested interest in bringing Mbabazi down. Mbabazi was the person that was up there. You know, when you are climbing the ladder of power,
yes,
it means that many people have fallen off.
Of course.
If you become the darling of any president, there are so many people who would want to be the darling of that president, so they will want to bring you down. So the forces that would want to bring Mbabazi down must be widespread in the NRM, and they will do every single thing down, and other to bring him down. But also remember that the challenge for Mbabazi faces is that even those people whom he helped climb up, who could therefore be loyal to him, now seeing him fall, they don't want to touch him even with a 100-foot pole. You know why? Because he's toxic. So their interest right now is protect their own positions and positions of power and privilege. So I think that Mbabazi is cooked. Please, I predict before this year ends, we're going to see a full-fledged process of removing Mbabazi as Secretary General of the NRM, and he will be suspended from being a member of the NRM.
All right, well said, and we just have 3 months to end this year, so we will be watching this space. And
the prophet has spoken.
And that was Newsnight.